It was a dream, it was a dream that to play in that competition, when I was in my village and watching that games, like, wow, this is Champions League. But now when I sit with myself alone, then I say, wow, I'm playing the Champions League final. The time I go to the ground, it was very bad for me. Just when the doctor came and I go out, and I say, I don't know what's going on, so I have to carry on now to see. Then when I went out, when I went off after that, I was like, okay, the final Champions League, I'm out now. Probably the World Cup was I'm out now, so everything was black. It's very bad, to be honest. Always when I describe that, I get emotional, but it's something bad. You had a good season, very good season, and you played the final Champions League after what you did with the team and after the team did all of us together. So also you after 1 month you played the World Cup after 28 years with your national team. So all of that comes to my mind. In that day, I said, yeah, well, we never know how many times you play the final Champions League. But the day after, I say, okay, everything in my hand. I take it like that. It's not in my hand, but I mean here that you have to play it many times, not only one time. So in the day after, I was like, okay, now we have to looking forward for the next one. I don't have to just still crying and think about the past. The past is past, so now you have to think about now and the future. So it was in my mind that I want to play again, so here we are. Every day, so 9 hours a day, probably. 4.5, and you come back 4.5. And I need to change like 4 transport, like cars, so transport. Because you go with like one car for half an hour, another car for 2.5, another one for 1 hour, something like that. The way back the same. I had nothing to do, nothing else to do. Just I'm playing football. I love to play football. It was my life. So Egypt to Switzerland, like what? It's 2 cultures completely different. But so it was difficult. The language, I couldn't speak English. I have to learn English. Then also the hard work they do. They train 2 hours. They give everything in 2 hours. The attention, the focus, the concentration, everything in that 2 hours. But in Egypt, I wasn't like that. It was like, yeah, you have 2 hours. You could be a little bit slow. You could be a little bit tired. That's the work here. So I need to change my mentality, and I need to develop myself. Changing my mentality from my first day in Switzerland, because I know how much I want to succeed. So what really I love about myself is I want to really succeed, and I can do anything just to be a better person and better player. So in my mind, I need to change, or otherwise I have to come back to Egypt. So that's not an optional for me, so I need to change myself. So from my first day in Basel, I said, okay, I need to change myself now. It was hard, of course, especially with the language, but I have no other option. It takes also all my willpower to change my mentality in Switzerland. So I was really able to change myself, my mentality, my mind, everything. So that's what I did in Basel. So it immediately takes time, but I mean, in that time I was able to change in Basel. A kid come from Egypt to Chelsea, after 1.5 years, like it's difficult. In Chelsea, you go to the dressing room, you see big names, big players, you love them when you were kids. That was just in the beginning, but after that I played first 6 months. Then I was not able to play the second 6 months, but that's what I felt about myself. I was working hard every day, developing myself every day, so I didn't play much. I don't know what's the reason, so I think I was like mentally, after I was not playing, it was very difficult for me mentally. I said to myself, I need to leave, because as a star in Egypt, everyone is looking at you like, yeah, he needs to play. So I saw every day in the media. I was also young, 21, 22, so the media was like putting more pressure on me. Then I couldn't handle that, and it was really difficult, because as a star in Egypt, and like 100 million is looking at you and writing everything about you, and probably most of the time they write something fake, because I don't know why they wrote stories from their mind. So it was like hurting me inside. So the most important time for me to learn, I had learned already in my career, because it's helping me to develop as a person, as a man, in my head. So it was really difficult. Really, it's the most difficult time in my career. It was always in my mind when I left Chelsea. I said many times it was always in my mind to come back, because a lot of people say he cannot succeed here and he's not good enough for the Premier League. So it was always in my mind to come back. And I had 2 great seasons in Rome. But I said to myself, everyone was telling me, no, don't come back. But it was always in my mind, I have to come back to prove them wrong.